girls or little boys owe anybody a hug.
No more awkward hugs. This holiday season, the Girl Scouts of America are stressing the importance of setting boundaries. In a post titled Reminder, she doesn't owe anyone a hug, not even at the holidays. The organization says a parent should not force their kids to hug their relatives. The organization posted the public service announcement on its website.
It says to not tell your child that someone owes someone a hug, either because she hasn't seen the person in a while or because they gave her a gift. Now, the thought here is that it can set the stage for her questioning whether she owes people physical attention when they do something seemingly nice for her later in life. Take a listen.
Allowing children, particularly girls, the space to decide how they want to show affection. It's important for kids to feel empowered and brave enough to share how they want to share.
You don't have to really use your body to tell people that. You can just use your words.
Well, the Girl Scouts has suggested some alternatives to hugging, including a handshake, a high five, a fist bump, a wave, or even a wink.
Yeah, but this has gained a lot of attention on our social media accounts from both sides, whether they agree or disagree. So that's why we've invited our body language expert, Blanca to join the conversation this morning. So Blanca, as a parent, do you agree with the Girl Scouts suggestion?
I totally agree with the suggestion. Look, it has bigger implications than your children at home right now with relatives or people who love them, but you have to think about the bigger picture when they leave home or they get in relationships, right? Personal relationships, dating relationships, even work relationships. If their body and their word doesn't mean no now, then what message are you telling them? They're not going to have that confidence to say, no, stop, leave me alone later on.
So how can you tell when your child is uncomfortable when you ask them, oh, give Uncle John a hug, or, you know, whomever it may be?
Well, it all depends on your kids. Now, some kids are going to implode, they're going to withdraw, they're going to look down, they might cry, they might hide behind your legs, they might go in their room, they might not even want to even talk about this person. So you'll get a lot of behavioral indicators. Some will just flat out say no.
So one last question. And the Girl Scouts suggested some alternatives, the high fives and all of that. Are those appropriate, or I guess it's how do you balance all that out?
It is very appropriate. You have to do what's comfortable for your kid. I think what happens a lot of time, and I got this message on my Facebook page, is like, no hugs at all. No, that's not what they're saying. They're saying you don't force your child. That's the key. If your child is comfortable, then absolutely go and embrace. But if they're not, that's where you have to respect what they want to say. So to go to your question, Eric, yes, it is very appropriate. They can even come up with a little dance, you know, little air fist, whatever they want to do that is significant between your child, your daughter, and that relative.
You know, also it brings up the point that some kids are, most I would say kids are naturally shy. You know, they haven't developed that personality yet. Sometimes they always hide behind the parents. I remember when someone would say, now go give your aunt so-and-so, except in the South we say, go give her some sugar. And so you're saying that being forced to do that is the problem. If the kid feels like doing that, then it's no problem at all.
And it's not comfortable. Look, I've raised both of my kids. I have a daughter and a son, and I can't tell you how many times both of my kids have been on kissing or hugging strikes against me. And I just deal with it because who am I to say, I'm your mom, so I deserve a hug? No, that's not the message I want to send. Look, I don't want my daughter to be a statistic of abuse, and I don't think any parent should want the same for their daughter.
Is it wrong for a parent to say, can I have a hug? Or are you still in a position of authority and maybe you shouldn't? Does that put pressure on you?
No, look, my son right now is on this hugging strike. And I'm like, I want a hug. And he's like, no.
How old is he?
12.
Well, that's why.
There you go.
Okay, I don't care if they're 50. I'm still going to want a hug and a kiss. But my point is that I have to respect their boundaries. And yes, is it a little hurtful? Sure. All I want to do is show some affection. He doesn't want it right now. Okay, there'll be another time. He'll change his mind and he'll come to me at a different point.
Because they change as they grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no direct study or direct finding that says if I allow my child to give hugs when they're children, that they're going to be a target for abuse when they're older.
No. The point is being forced.
Right.
The child needs to be able to say, no, I don't want this. Make their own decision. What are they comfortable with? You don't owe anybody a hug any more than as an adult you owe anyone. Okay, I'm going to go right here, right now. But think about it. When you have a personal relationship with your significant other, right? When you're not in the mood, you're not in the mood. And you know what I'm talking about, even though I'm not saying what I'm talking about. It's okay. You have to have those boundaries. So if you have that expectation for yourself that you don't owe anybody any physical affection, why on this planet would you expect your child to have that expectation that they owe physical affection. They
I think
don't.
it's all about knowing your kid, knowing what they're comfortable with, and knowing how to tell the signs, like you were mentioning, of when they are uncomfortable, and then making
and
that
talking
decision.
to your kids.
Yeah,
Just
talk
also
to them.
talk to the family member, pull them aside and say, look, please don't take this personally.
Yeah, that's a good
but
idea.
right now, we're raising our kid. We want for our child to be more comfortable in setting boundaries, and we feel that it's safe with you. We know that you love our daughter.
Well, and the other thing, you tell them you have to say thank you. I mean, if someone gives you a gift, that's good enough. You know,
Right, and that's not part of the discussion. I guess it's being forceful to hug, but absolutely, Eric, you bring up a great point. You do have to teach your children to be polite and be appreciative of gifts, but they can use their words. They can express it in different ways. They can give a big smile and say, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. It was nice of you to think of me."
Well, and I'm, I'm physical. I'm a hugger and that type of. That's the way I've always been brought up, and it's just the way my family was. But you know that feeling when you go to hug somebody and they're doing the.
Yes.
You know, and then I'm like, oh, I've learned my lesson. I can't, almost shouldn't do that. So.
And that's a good point you bring up, because some kids, you try to hug them and they'll do this.
Yes, stiff. Right. Yes.
Yeah. Their hands, their arms are by their side.
Not
and
comfortable.
You're doing the hugging, not me.
Right. I am the huggy.
Right, exactly.
Right.
All right, Blanca, very good conversation. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. This is obviously a hot topic on our Facebook pages, so weigh in.
Yeah, you can keep that conversation going. And if you have any questions for Blanca, you can find her on her Facebook page. You can also find her on Twitter. Just use the hashtag BlancaOn2. You can email her as well, bcobb@wfny.com.